They keep matching up in Pro Series as well. And the series layout is looking good for the Pioneers. I will say that by the very least. I spoke to Manny backstage and he said, hey, are those our 5 game types? 4 out of the 5, there are maps. We're getting this done in at least 4.
The old enemy. These two teams have matched against each other so many times. They know what each other have up their sleeves. Both teams want to win, but both teams think they can win here.
And we're kicking things off with Bazaar capture the flag. It's a very strong game type for the Pioneers. They just seem to know how to maneuver their way through the angles to secure that overshield to get those rockets. On the side of eUnited, however, a very bad game type for them when it comes to land performance. They have a 2-7 stat record. It has not been a comfortable one for them whatsoever.
Shields up, weapons hot. We're on board with Druk, and here we go.
And Druk has a lot of responsibility here. Just from the double doors, you've got to watch the rockets. The support is perfect. And now you move your attention over towards that overshoot.
We're getting to that point in the tournament where the cream starts rising to the top. There's levels to this game. And if you want to hang with the big boys, you have to beat a team like eUnited, but RyaNoob has that overshield.
And RyaNoob is going to be a big focus for me from this eUnited roster. Not only is he the player who carries the flag the most, he grabs the flag, he steals the flag. He's also been the main damage dealer for this eUnited roster. RyaNoob's done everything this tournament, and if he can carry on firing like that, bring that energy to the rest of the team, they're going to look terrifying.
Every single event, eUnited seem to have to prove the doubters and the haters wrong. This event is no different. People betting against them once more.
I tell you what, I've been a doubter. I said I think eUnited, they've dropped down a little bit. They've not been as good as they were at the likes of Anaheim. But this is the series to prove me and others wrong, to show what you've got. And they've already got a flag their side of the map, but you've got to do it a different way. Because you've run it down through shotgun here, this is not as easy a route as you would usually find running it through bottom middle.
RyaNoob just hasn't got the path carved. And SoulSnipe's on hand to send that flag back to Kansas City.
That is a great return. A Spartan on a killing spree. And I tell you what, Spartan has been getting better and better as this tournament has gone on. The stats have got better from game by game. He just seems to heat up as the tournament goes forward. And I'm sure that if they keep progressing in that winners bracket, Spartan is going to be terrifying by the time they get to know maybe a winners bracket final again.
Manny, now he would love to punch his ticket to a winners finals. The dreams, the hopes, the aspirations. Shut down this time, though. RyaNoob, faced with the pink mist, lights up the arena. More shots go down. Nick on top this time. He's eliminated. Traded back and forth, scrapping for the overshield.
Overshield is always a huge moment. Who can grab it? Communication is always going to be sparse. If you are not focusing the right areas, let's jump into an Astro listening with the KC Pioneers.
Rockets, guys. I'm gonna go over.
Yeah, they might have shotguns. They might have shotguns.
Maybe check a wing, maybe?
I was one on shotgun.
I'm one
I got a couple.
Push the palm.
I got the bomb.
I'm with you,
They're going to be alright. They're going to be alright.
One Astro Drain.
Yeah, I got one to Rayne. They're alley. They're jump up. Flag jump up.
They're like jump up in their alley, last two.
At the end.
Yeah.
My bad.
Check it.
Someone could be there in VR. He's going to palm. The palm with the thrust. Yep, the palm with the thrust.
I want to
Kill Druk.
This is Dark on there. I just came on the palm.
Beat the palm. Look at the palm. I'm just staring at the palm. Beat the palm.
They're alley. What's their palm still?
The double doors. That's going to weak.
So the double doors. Rockets are shutting down top rocks.
Right there.
I don't know.
Top rockets are down. Rockets are down. Top rockets. No one's on rockets.
I don't know what their palm. I don't know what their palm.
Yes, no one's on rockets yet, Manny.
He's still ticking.
Hey, take your time with these rockets. You can only watch outside if you want.
Which is the palm and VR? Palm and VR.
You're good.
Check him on him. Hold on.
Right there.
I'm challenging for you. Just get out.
There's lockers in palm. Lockers in palm. One's already out. Dynamis.
One's in BR. Watch out BR. Watch out BR.
Just
I got one.
Kill.
The other guys are dynamos with thrust.
Watch out our lockers. Watch out lockers. Our lockers in the BR.
Yes. I know it's
Our lockers in BR.
They're fruit.
I think one's on Dynamos.
Watch out lockers. Watch out lockers.
Guys, I'm on the side.
Our lockers will never die. Our lockers never die.
Give me like 2 seconds.
Guys, I'm in the flag.
Or Dynamo.
RyaNoob's one shot the alley.
Watch out lockers.
Good shit, Hunter. That's
Guys, I'm in the
huge.
palm. I'm in the
Top
palm.
rocks outside. Top rocks outside. Have shield, sure.
I couldn't. He killed me.
Look left, Mikey.
He's gonna still maybe. RyaNoob's out. Part of belly. Jumping up.
Weak.
Watch out Valley. Watch out
And
Valley.
they're pillars, Sparty.
The pillars in alley.
Pillars, watch out
One
the pillars.
shot. One shot still. They're palm weak. They're palm weak, Nick.
I think he's on our side still. Ryan, never die.
I'm still in the fire.
Ryan's in.
Rockets being put in the perfect place to ensure they can then get the overshield, but a lot of small talk in that listening. Pioneers saying all the important stuff. I'm pushing here, we need to push there. To a dead, it's not just useless call-outs. It's not just calling out one-shots. These Pioneers boys, they know what they need to do, and they are really taking it to eUnited.
Communication clear and precise. SoulSnipe off to the entry fragger for this team. As Spartan tried to play back base, was invited out and paid the price as KCP take down 2. Flag on the move.
All 4 were temporarily dead. The first spawner was Rayne. Where is he situated himself, though? Is he going to be trying to come for a little bit of an ambush here? The flag's got far enough that Pioneers will take a straight 3 versus 4 in the middle of the map. eUnited need the opening kill, and Spartan gets it.
1 down, 3 to go. 2 down. Taulek the latest one to hit the respawn screen. SoulSnipe with the flag, and Druk has given up on that one.
Yeah, Druk says, I don't need to go for this flag right now. Instead, let me just position myself to try and maybe pick up a cheeky kill. There was a touch on the other side. If Druk can get a big double here, the flag is still alive. There is still hope for this one.
Druk scampers down into the sewers, calling and screaming for the help of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. They will not pop up here. Shots get to the spine of Rayne. 1 more go down. This flag is still alive.
Still alive somehow, even though United are getting the slays. Druk had stayed alive for so long. The respawners of the Pioneers are consistently touching it, but RyaNoob does what RyaNoob does best. He's inside the base. He's causing havoc.
Is there trouble now? Have they opened up the door to a counter cap? Now their flag's on the move. They've got work to do. SoulSnipe waiting to join his teammates. Taulek has ran out blind to try and cut off that flag. He's eliminated. Down goes Druk. eUnited on the move.
Overshield's coming up, and they're trying something really different on eUnited. They are running that flag down through the bottom Bulldog area rather than trying to just go through the middle, and it's working. They're getting it extremely far across the map. Nick actually uncontested right now. SoulSnipe does have the overshield, but can you get to the flag quick enough? Spartan struggling a little bit in terms of... Oh! And I tell you what, this could be another read.
2 go down. 4 dead for eUnited. Flag back home at Kansas City, and on the move.
How is this happening time and time again? I'll tell you how. When you run it through Bulldog, you leave yourself so vulnerable to the other team pushing through the middle of the map and catching you on that counter cap possibility. Pioneers have done so well to just produce an incredible amount of energy. Whoa! That's Taulek starting to heat up.
Taulek rocks 2. SoulSnipe has the flag again. Gets just through the double doors. Druk picks up the one that was advancing towards him. Kansas City! It's 1-0.
eUnited got 2 flags back to their base, but the scoreline still reads 0 for them. Pioneers with a fantastic counter strategy, making sure that it is not comfortable whatsoever for eUnited, despite how far they may get that flag. And I tell you what, every player is playing a part of this as well, but it's Taulek who has all the plaudits right now with 19 kills on the board.
3 dead momentarily for eUnited. Rayne has to try and get back to his teammates to stop this flag. SoulSnipe is all business today. He's not interested in killing at times, he just wants to touch that flag.
It's a really good name, but the grenade hasn't been able to stop the flag from going through the double door, right? Double door means that there's going to be a lot of protection off the spawn, and Manny's found the flag as well. And Manny consistently is the player to put these flags in for Pioneers, and they find themselves 2 to the good.
Manny's not done just yet. Rayne dispatched. Overshield in the chest of Manny. And they want more. They're hungry. Feed them.
You've really got to keep pushing. You've got to keep pressuring eUnited right now because you are on the upper side of things. You have 2 flags. You're getting the overshields. eUnited are on the back foot, and they are just searching. They're scrapping for anything at this point.
Manny's overshield gone. He's got the flag far enough, though.
Wow.
That thruster pack might have just saved his life. Druk and Taulek pick up 2 more. 3 dead for eUnited.
Not just 3 dead, they got the flag return as well, but you've got to calm for a second. You've got to reassess your options. Yes, okay, you're bottom middle, but you're very vulnerable to grenades right now. Get these kills, then go for that 3rd flag.
Spartan in the lockers. He gets taken care of. Taulek. What a performance from him. SoulSnipe punches in his 2nd flag of the game.
He snipes that flag with the grapple. Easy as you like. This is starting to become a bit of a rut. And keep an eye on Druk's kill feed, because when Druk gets 17 kills, Pioneers win 80% of the time. And I tell you what, that statistic probably is going to get a little bit higher, because Pioneers, with 2 minutes and 42 seconds to go, they are looking like they might be just heading into game 2 with a lead.
eUnited need to cap 3 flags in under 2.5 minutes. It's a tall order for any team. Nick tries to escort his flag home. Manny shuts him down in the lockers. Overshield about to pop in 20 seconds. And Druk has picked up the 17th kill.
Well, I guess that's going to have to be eUnited defying the statistical odds if they are going to be winning this one. And at the moment, with the returns that are coming through, with the way that the Pioneers are playing, it is all screaming game 1 heading to the side that's currently playing in blue. Nick gets a double. That's important. With only 2 minutes left on the clock, they need to move soon, but it's another overshield for the Pioneers.
If this game was a musical genre, it'd be heavy metal. Rocking and rolling. What can Rayne do for his team? The odds heavily stacked against them.
It's been a really unfortunate situation for eUnited, considering how far they got 2 flags. They must be so deflated that Pioneers were able to get those returns. And now Pioneers, they fed off that. They have just been feeding off the energy of this crowd as well. We heard the interviews. They were saying, like, this crowd makes us play 10% better, if not more. 1 flag is on the move for eUnited, but is it going to be enough with 1 minute and 20 left on the clock?
The crowd is at 10% buff. 3 flags to the good, but only 1 minute and 10 left to play. Despite this flag making it well over the halfway point, they can play defense if they need to, but Druk and Taulek pick up a couple. This flag might not get home.
It would be the 3rd time in a row that eUnited have got a flag back, haven't been able to actually cap it as well. It's so close, but so far. Nick should be able to clamber, but if you're Pioneers here, you just take map control. You say, let it go. It doesn't matter. We have a 2-cap lead. Now all we need to do is just play the slow game, play defense here. Even if eUnited got a 2nd flag back, the likelihood of them getting a 3rd would be a very low percentage.
30 seconds remaining. 4 dead. Nick, last man to pop up now. What can he do? Manny has the flag, but it's only going to be an insurance policy to ensure they can keep that distance between them.
Pioneers have been phenomenal in this game 1, and they are living up to the hype right now. And I tell you what, a 4th flag maybe is on the horizon here. The Pioneers train, it started off at the beginning of this tournament, and it keeps getting bigger. It is terrifying what we are witnessing.
KCP then. Game 1 is going to Kansas City Pioneers.
And the Kansas City Ultra in the crowd go wild. And you know, sometimes you have tournaments in home crowds and, you know, it doesn't go their way.
Yeah.
And it's one of those situations where you hope that your team is going to win. Kansas City Pioneers are the real deal. They don't want to be a top 6 team. They want to be considered for the top 4. They want to be considered for top 3. They want to be in those grand finals. And I tell you what, an eUnited roster who has been there, a top 2 performance in Rally, a top 3 performance in Anaheim, with how they've just managed to disassemble them on Bazaar Capture the Flag, it's an amazing start to this series for the KCP.
This Kansas City Pioneer team has beaten eUnited before. Unfortunately, when it got to this stage, was when they faltered. They do not want to do it here again today.
No, they did it in pool play, but unfortunately when it came to bracket play, that's when they lost in Anaheim. And speaking to Manny backstage, he said, look, we've played these guys so much, we know their playbook, we know what they're capable of. But the biggest difference between now and then is a lack of Mangler. We are not seeing Mangler play. And I have been saying it all tournament long. I think eUnited have lost a little bit of something since that Mangler has not been included, because they're a great team at flanking and getting behind. You add the Mangler to that, and they become a disgusting force. But now without that extra weapon, we are seeing them just start to slip down ever so slightly from maybe top 3 to potentially a top 6 position. And I would be reassured by that fact if KCP were to beat them here in bracket play. But there is still a long way to go, and I'm always prepared to be proved wrong, because this is going to be a series where both of these teams not only want to win, but they know they can win.
One man I want to highlight. What a performance out of Taulek.
Taulek really has been the statistical anomaly when you look at this squad. He has not only had the most damage, but flag grabs, flag assists. He's been getting flag captures. He's been doing a little bit of everything. And you need that energy, those kills he's been able to find going into a Slayer game 2, because we know full well how good eUnited are when it comes to Slayers.
Slayer live fire then. Can eUnited bounce back on one of their favorite game types? We're about to find out. We're underway.
eUnited have never lost this game type on land, so that is very good news. If you are an eUnited fan, you're looking to try and cling on to something here. Pioneers also said they're not that great when it comes to live fire Slayer, but they've got a 3-0 lead, so it's looking good. Make it 4.
4-0, KingNick, the latest to be lined up in the crosshairs of Druk. He will fall though. 6-1 the score, and SoulSnipe has the wig wobbler, but he gets dropped.
Could have been amazing if SoulSnipe had gone away with that sniper and started to really punish eUnited for any positions they tried to cross without maybe looking left and right before they crossed that road. But it's really this heat wave that's been making the difference so far. And eventually you get the frag.
Spartan reduced to dust particles as a result of the heat wave, and I love this. Camouflage picked up by Druk, heat wave passed over from Manny to Druk. And he's just waiting to pop that camouflage.
Waiting for the right moment. And they're almost encouraging eUnited to push here. They're saying, look, we've got a 6-kill lead. We don't have to come to you. You come out of your hidey holes. And when you do, we've got a surprise for you. And it's a form of Druk with a heat wave and a camouflage, which is enough to strike fear into any human being.
The game slowed down to a crawl. eUnited believe this camouflage has already been used well before now. The timing could be off here as Druk inches closer to the tower. Spartan, though, he's been tagged up in the back, and Spartan picks up 2. Make it 3. Manny last man standing.
Huge play for eUnited. They needed to spot out that camouflage. And I tell you what, someone was eating their carrots last night because they were able to see in the pretty much the dark in that situation. And the Pioneers find themselves still 3 kills up, but eUnited, they win that play.
3 kills the difference. Camouflage about to pop again. Will it result in something better for one of these two teams? But look at this, Manny drops behind from below. Spartan had no idea he was there. Taulek picks up KCP's second camouflage and is desperately trying to scramble to live. But Rayne says no.
This might be the slowest I've ever seen Slayer live fire played, by the way, but it is still 12-10 in favor of Pioneers, an extra one added. eUnited are doing very well not to allow Pioneers to snowball out of control, though. With the lead that the Pioneers had, this could have been a crazy game in favor of KCP. But as long as eUnited can stay within 5, they're always going to be quite confident of getting back into the game.
eUnited then, down by a couple of kills. Let's tune in and listen to what they're talking about in an Astro listening.
I needed.
Yo,
Tower 2.
He's on Mangler, on Mangler.
Shot on me. Watch out.
Another one bottom. The next one.
There's a guy.
Back tower.
Right there.
Do snipe, Snipe side of ammo.
Green and S. Green and S. Easy snipe. We're not fighting.
That's rich. I'm gonna keep moving. I have heat wave. It goes good.
Getting to back green.
I'm
Coming back to right.
I got to back green, guys.
Nice.
One back green with me. Oh my God!
Nice. We got one. Is he down to green box?
I can't see.
He's down to green box. We should go.
There was one shot at green. Taulek.
He's one shot. One was sniping tower still?
Top mid sniping, yeah. Top tower sniping.
Okay. This maybe? Top tower sniping. I'm walking green. One shot top tower sniping.
On Ovi, Druk.
Tyler and I can't do anything for a bit.
Yeah. Nick, you can go make a play if you would.
Druk was
Don't
on
go make a
Ovi.
play, but get out of here. No, sure.
I think I hear
Watching red.
someone bottom mid or
I'm watching
something.
red.
I'm going.
Kind of.
On Ovi.
Sniper's still top tower. Sniper's still top tower. Dummies, one shot. Druk.
Trying to get to you.
Dummies. Nice.
I'm going to Nick.
Coming to help you guys. I can live. Sniper.
Bottom mid. Dead.
Nice. I have nades on
Top tower
sniper.
sniping. Top tower
I have nades
sniping.
on it. If the other guy's top mid with the drop wall, I have to run. Let me get camo. Let me get camo. I got it.
Top tower sniping got me. You guys, yeah, you got away with camo.
One shot, I'm sniping. One shot sniping. Two one shots bottom.
Alright, I'm finishing up green.
One shot power. One shot power. He's right here, guys. One shot top.
One. Yo, Mangler.
Bottom mid weak, I think. Mangler dropping one shot.
And a 2-kill game. That camouflage did not have the desired effect that eUnited needed to claw themselves back into the lead here. With Nick the latest one to hit the respawn screen thanks to SoulSnipe. And now Manny in a world of hurt, but he somehow, with the help of a teammate, gets a trade. They're going back and forth, but Pioneers hold a 4-kill advantage.
And the reason they're holding that advantage is they are so good at trading at the moment. Even when eUnited are getting loud because they are maybe out BRing someone from Pioneers, there's always someone else there to clean up that kill. It's an excellent display of teamwork that we're seeing from KCP at the moment, and I cannot stress enough what an amazing victory it would be on Slayer Livefire. At eUnited, they have a 6-0 record on LAN. They are amazing, probably one of the best Slayer teams we have in the HCS competition. Pioneers still hold a 4-kill lead.
Both these two teams jostling. Not many kills in the feed the last couple of seconds. Rayne looks to add a +1 to his column. Manny falls victim to the battle rifle. 3-kill game now. Camouflage in 30 seconds now. You can see eUnited just shuffling over that side to set up for it.
And it's a 3-kill game, and that clock is very much ticking down. This is one of the slowest Slayer live fires where the clock may come into the equation if things don't speed up considerably. 28 to 25. Similarly to what we saw earlier when Optic were playing, it's going to come down to who is going to make those plays when it's a close game like this.
3-kill game still. Time. Will it play a factor? Will it start to be a friend of Pioneers and a foe of eUnited?
It's another camouflage that goes in favor of Pioneers, as we see in the picture-in-picture. It's a sniper rifle that's out of ammo, but what can Manny do here?
Flirted with the idea of dropping down bottom middle. The world is his oyster. Nick isolated all alone. Somehow gets a kill. Camouflage player dropping into a world of hurt here though. Manny needs to back up, needs to put it in reverse, but no. It's a 1-kill game.
It's another great response from eUnited with the camouflage as well, isn't it? Pioneers have had these opportunities to try and get a kill here or there and maybe make a real difference, take a commanding lead, but eUnited are so patient. They watch out, they try and hit anything that might suggest a camouflage is nearby. They really do grip up for Spartan. If he can start heating up with his sniper rifle, it is going to be bad news for the Pioneers.
Pioneers trade out, and now eUnited have eked out a lead. 4 kills to be exact. With RyaNoob desperately trying to stay alive, but excuse me, Rayne. He is dispatched. 3 kills difference now. KCP chance around the arena. Will it be enough? Will that 10% boost help them here? It's a 2-kill game. SoulSnipe with 2.
Good that he didn't get too excited there. He thought about pushing in, waiting for the triple, but Taulek probably gave him the call of wait, stay alive, and the repulsor allowed him to stay alive. It's a 2-kill game, 38 to 36. I spoke to Manny, he said, we are playmakers, we are fearless. Pioneers are going to need to thrive in those scenarios if they're going to get back into this game, because now eUnited have control, that's when eUnited are at their very best.
All the players shift over towards camouflage now, but Spartan has picked it up. What can he do with it? Opting to use it right here, right now. On to SoulSnipe. Trade comes through, but RyaNoob with the heat wave. 4 kills, Taulek, last man standing.
8 kills away now, and as you said, the heat wave very important in these last final moments because it's so difficult to try and not have your kill traded out when it's a heat wave on the other side. Spartan's still got a little bit of juice left in this camouflage to work with.
The wiggles come through. The trade. 4 kills remain. eUnited requires 6. SoulSnipe onto RyaNoob. They need 3 without reply.
Really big push here though from eUnited. They're taking green, but SoulSnipe actually got the heat wave. Does fall thanks to a trade, but this is some great anchoring work from Taulek. It's 46 to 43. This is still winnable for KCP. eUnited are in the driving seat right now, but Taulek, the rest of KCP desperately trying to put the handbrake on.
Taulek had the option to stay behind that box, trying to get out of dodge, paid the price. eUnited need 3 to tie up the series.
Try and keep that 100% record alive on LAN, on Slayer Livefire. Pioneers were hoping they were going to disrupt that statistic, but it doesn't look like it's going to happen at the moment. But we've already seen some great comebacks today. All Pioneers need is one push. 1-4 dead, and they're right back into it, 47-47. Camo's coming up in 23 seconds, and maybe that's what they're waiting for.
Game clock reads 2:20. Will it play a factor? Spartan goes down, but it's been traded out. 2 kills, 1 kill for eUnited here, and it comes. They tie up the series. 1-1.
They will just settle down that KCP crowd ever so slightly. Do not fear. I think KCP knew this was always going to be a difficult game type for them. They always knew that game 2 was probably the rockiest out of this series layout, but as to games 3, 4, and 5, it starts to get a little bit better for those boys on your screen. As for eUnited, though, they desperately needed that. It was looking shaky at moments. They were 6 or 7 kills down at one point, but they were so patient with how they played, and their ability to spot out the camouflage, unreal, by the way. I don't know what they're eating at night. As I say, it must be carrots or something, because their vision is incredible.
Let's break it down then. We've seen such a commanding lead for the boys on KCP, but eUnited, they hung on in there for so long, and all it took was one swing, and they didn't look back.
And I think that's what you've got to know when you are playing against eUnited, right? Is that if you are ahead, you have to stay ahead, because as soon as you give away that lead, that's when eUnited just take it within their grasp and they start to pull away a little bit. eUnited are a team who love structure. They love to play the way they want to play Halo. But if you can make them uncomfortable, you can take them out of that comfort zone, then they get a little bit dicey. Oddball Recharge, game number 3 here. And this is another good game type for eUnited. Yes, it gets a little bit better for the Pioneers, but it's also a game type we saw these two play against each other in Anaheim. Pioneers feel like this is one of their best, but eUnited beat them in Anaheim on this one. So they can have that. They can say, look, we've beaten them before. Why can't we beat them again?
And with Oddball on the horizon now, there's players that thrive in that environment. Is there anybody you've got an eye on?
I think that, you know, Spartan has to be a focus.
Yeah.
But we are going to jump into another game whilst we're waiting for game number 3, because we want plenty of Halo action. Cruelty are currently playing Blackhand. Now, Blackhand, another European squad that have come through the open bracket. And of course, Cruelty, a team that have, you know, shown a lot of promise in the LATAM region as well. But it seems that Blackhand got the better of them at the moment. 2-0 up in this series.
Cruelty with their backs against the wall here. Flux. And the Blackhand looking to carry that European flag as far as they possibly can before they fall. What can Cruelty do though? They had a really, really tough pool play. Now they find themselves down the Blackhand.
They did, and it was always going to be tough when you're going up against an open bracket team who's going to have a little bit of momentum coming out of the elimination side, right? And we spoke to Riot backstage and we said, hey, how are you feeling going into this elimination bracket now of champs? And he said, look, if we get a team like Cruelty, I feel like we can move on to the next round comfortably. But if we get a team like Na'Vi, I think it's going to be a little bit more difficult. It was a complete toss-up as to how comfortable this round was going to be. It looks like they pulled the better straw, and they hold a very significant 2-0 lead and are also leading in this game number 3.
Stronghold capture.
A couple of strongholds now for Cruelty. Starting to just claw back at that Blackhand lead. As I say, that B transfers and Riots
Capture.
shuts down Dragoniac. Having a look at the stats. Riots performing out of his skin.
And these are a lot of familiar names of the European scene, and actually you might recognize them from Rally. They were Bing Chilling, or at least 2 of the 4 were. They've made some changes since then. Ramirez has been swapped out for Snakey most recently, and it has made a big difference for their performance in terms of the slaying department, that's for sure. But I guess this is now the real test. Now they're in championship bracket of, is that change really gonna pay off? And Cruelty on the other side in the LATAM region, you know, they've had some amazing tournaments. Nugget is a player that I love to watch. His POV is insane, but it just seems like this could be the end of their tournament if it carries on playing this way out.
The cream starting to rise to the top, and we're sending people and teams home all the time. Will Cruelty be the latest one to fall to the European sword? Or can the LATAM region bounce back here and perform a miracle in a reverse sweep? Right now, they're on the ropes and they're reeling.
And usually when we have international versus international competition, Europe versus ANZ or Europe versus LATAM, for the most part, Europe historically have usually come out on top, but this Blackhand roster, or what was previously Bing Chilling, they lost to an ANZ team in Rally, and I really think that lit a fire for some of these guys. They They wanted to prove themselves at another international tournament, and that's why we're seeing them have such an impressive performance now, and they will want to make a statement here in Championship Bracket.
158 points to 46 then. Cruelty take control of B, but C has been whisked away, but at the same time they're taking A, so showing signs of life.
Signs of life for sure, but remember you can keep watching that game on twitch.tv/HCS_blue as we jump away and go back into our feature game here on the main stage, Kansas City Pioneers versus eUnited, as the players have now taken their break. Bathroom breaks maybe just to slow things down a little bit, calm things down a little bit. I always think a tactical bathroom break is very important for some of these players, just to take a breather, maybe kill a little bit of momentum off on the other side as well. It can be very strategical.
Now, like we said before, we did dip away for a moment. Recharge ball up next, and you started speaking about Spartan and how influential he can be in this game, so let's maybe continue on that point, but we could flip over to the other side. Kansas City Pioneers, they've got some boys that like to play the objective.
Yeah, I think Kansas City Pioneers, SoulSnipe in particular, he's your ball guy. As soon as they've got control, they kind of toss it over towards him, and he says, hey, I'll hold it, you guys do the rest of the damage, because SoulSnipe knows how to rotate as well. So Oddball Recharge is going to be game number 3. We've already had Bazaar capture the flag, which heavily went in favor of Pioneers. And of course, recently, the 50-44 Slayer live fire in favor of eUnited as they continue that 100% record on Slayer live fire.
If you're just joining us then, this series currently sits, it stands, it lies down. It's 1-1, no matter what position you're in. It's up for grabs for either one of these teams to really start to push the pace. Very little to separate them. But we do head into Oddball here. And now Pioneers would just like to get that extra game under the bag.
I tell you what, it does seem like eUnited have silenced this KCP crowd a little bit. Not hearing as much noise as I had done. Maybe they're not going to be getting behind the boys as much as they should be. But the KC Pioneers are going to be jumping into this game expecting a victory. They love Recharge ball, and they'll want to take eUnited down to take a 2-1 lead.
Here is that man we highlighted before the game. Spartan. What can he do to drag eUnited forward here then in this game? Druk has picked up the ball along with the camouflage. Toss it off to a teammate here.
To SoulSnipe.
The ball man SoulSnipe. Dan just likes to prove sometimes that he knows what he's talking about, and indeed he does. Shock rifle in the hands though of Taulek. Druk is gonna fall.
Druk will fall. Early points scored by the Pioneers, but eUnited have done very well to just stem that attack, not allow them to set up. But Manny, managing to pick up the sword here is going to be a real influence on this side of the map. Has to stay alive. Pipes plus sword often spells danger, and a repulsor just to keep yourself safe. Yeah, these are good things that I'm witnessing.
It's always nice to have a repulsor in the back pocket, but unfortunately, he did manage to live for a little while. As you can hear RyaNoob screaming across the stage. He's done something impressive or shut somebody down somewhere. Maybe for the amount of noise that eUnited can make on stage, we need the Kansas City Pioneer crowd here to get behind them to even the odds.
Yeah, that's what, you know, the Pioneers are always going to have behind them. It's that home crowd. It doesn't matter how loud eUnited can roar. We know that the Pioneers crew can roar that little bit louder, but I think that's what eUnited want to do. They want to try and get in the heads of the Pioneers, try and take away an element that they have, that confidence they've been displaying throughout this whole tournament. But all 4 dead for eUnited. Sword control and ball control here in Pipes.
4 in the grave momentarily. Waiting to rejoin the fight. Manny now with the ball in his hands. Getting shot. Has to back down. Getting information for his team. Just sneaks back around that corner to maintain the score then. Settled down just a touch here with both members, both teams. Down to just 2 apiece. The rotation though, he's brought it straight towards the elevator and he hasn't touched the ground floor. He's ended up in the eUnited bedroom.
Running yourself into trouble sometimes, and that's always the risk you take when you do make a rotation like that. You hope that the other team hasn't spawned over towards the elevator, but we know what a heavy spawn it is. You sometimes have to expect it. Yes, okay, a little bit of time was gathered, but eUnited will be very thankful they were able to get that elevator spawn. But look at this positioning from Rayne. As a camouflage player, you have to go one of 2 ways. You either anchor and you stand in a very vulnerable position, or you try and flank. And Rayne's going for something a little bit in between right now.
eUnited have just got a tiny lead now. All members of Pioneers set up towards long haul. Manny's a little bit isolated. And as a result of that, He is dealt with accordingly.
Ball carrier.
SoulSnipe swoops in, throws that ball off, and how important that could be here just to stop eUnited from scoring and setting up.
I think there is an element of respect that we're seeing between these two teams with the amount of play balls and the amount of quick grabs to try and toss it out to top middle because they know one setup could win a round. That's how good both of these teams are when it comes to recharge ball. RyaNoob, though, in a position to at least keep eyes and keep tabs on this reset ball. But all these teams want at the moment is pipe control.
SoulSnipe, shot in the back, killing spree for RyaNoob. Looking to deal with, unable to. Ultimately gets dispatched. Here is Manny to pick up that needler. Try and roll on. He'll take it down to no shields though. Will survive, if only for a moment here as he runs straight into a nade. The battle rifle shots of Rayne will do the job.
Well, Manny describes himself as fearless, and running headfirst into a grenade is probably one of the ways to demonstrate that, that's for sure. It's a very close game at the moment, but eUnited do have a little bit of a lead, and it's going to be extended. Rayne puts his body on the line to get that ball out of the way, and that's what you need from players. You need someone who's going to risk their life just to get that ball into an area like pipes, so you can pick up some significant time.
Great awareness from Rayne, reading the game perfectly. Has just resulted now though. Manny picked up the camouflage for his team, a little bit of damage. He will back away, and 2 go down for eUnited. Now all of a sudden Kansas City Pioneers have got somewhat of a setup. Opting not to play ball just yet though. RyaNoob picks up one down in Mangler Pit, and that will result in no scoring of significance anyway.
I've been so impressed with RyaNoob. I thought he'd be hurt a little bit more with the Mangler coming out of the meta, but he has been the big damage dealer, he's been the objective player, he has been the all-rounder that eUnited need, and he's still firing. He's such a nuisance to play against. He is genuinely, I think, the most annoying player you can face up against in Halo Infinite, and that is an amazing player to have on your team.
Ball in the hands of the Pioneers though. Spartan wants a bit of the beat. He's going to get some. Cuts off a large slice. He breaks the setup, possibly the hearts here of the KCP. 50 points to 35. But all of a sudden, that game clock starting to play a little bit of a factor with only 1 minute 15 left.
Yeah, we may not see one of these teams get to that 100-point mark in round number 1 if it carries on like this. There has just been such a back and forth with slays. A big kill from Druk, but with Manny going down, that's all 4 dead. A big chance to gain some time for eUnited. And Nick, who has been that main ball carrier for this side, despite the fact he's also the main slayer, shows that he's prepared to do whatever it takes for this team.
Nick then. That's with parental guidance for the Oddball. It's in safe hands, as I say that. He tosses it out. That's not advised with any child, I can tell you that. But he does drop it down into no man's land, but Kansas City Pioneers have scooped it up and starting to pick up those points, but Taulek is the last man alive.
He's the last man alive, but he's still got away with the ball. Fantastic play there from Taulek to just swoop in and steal it away. eUnited did lose a few players, but now with only 1 minute left on the clock, eUnited know if they can just stop Pioneers from setting up, if they can keep this game scrappy, they should just win off the clock.
3 dead. Taulek last man alive. Ball was played in the meantime though. He's over towards gold pipes. RyaNoob still has a sliver of camouflage left. Might not be a lot, but it's enough to be a factor here. SoulSnipe backs towards gold pipes, and Manny soars out from double stack and somehow finds the face. 3 dead. Make it 2. As Rayne and RyaNoob in the respawn screen. Oh, and Taulek heating up here. But it's got to be flawless with the game clock at 28.
Yeah, he has to be hitting these shots. He has to give his team something to try and get a true setup here. 27 left on the clock, but that time is ticking up at the bottom. 60 points now. It's just a 10-point difference. And Taulek trying to reposition so that he can do some damage with this shock rifle.
Trades come through. This next kill is going to be so important. It's gone the way of the KCP. Manny's got the blade over towards pipes. They're scoring all this time. 5 seconds to close the gap, but the ball has been dropped. They need to get their hands on it, or they will lose round 1.
SoulSnipe's there. He wants to get a grab, but it's being watched. They've got to push now. You've got to go.
It's now or never.
Has to hit the shot. Tries to grapple, but it's too late. It was so close. Maybe he could have got away with it. A millisecond, and that could have been a very different round.
Round 2.
That would have been one for the highlight reel. Like Scorpion shouts, get over here. Fractions the barest of margins between these two teams. That's all that separates them. Round one for eUnited. Manny picks up 2 in the feed. 3 down now for eUnited. Rayne, the last man alive, being a thorn in the side of the Pioneers.
Can Pioneers now take this momentum from the end of that round? They were so close to making a comeback, but eUnited are doing so well to be a nuisance, as you say. Their survivability is insane at the moment, and they're really being a pain in the ass to Pioneers.
They got 3 dead. They got no points. eUnited flip the script, and they start scoring. Sword though from Manny, but he's a little bit isolated from his team. Doesn't want to be the first one in here and give over the sword. Grenades being thrown. There's explosions left, right, and center. Manny doesn't care, he's kicking in your door.
Ball taken.
But RyaNoob with the grapple has just pulled that ball away and evades the slippery beaver. Gets himself out of dodge. Spartan caught. But somehow
Ball taken.
Spartan gets the job done. SoulSnipe last man standing.
I am absolutely astonished that's just happened, by the way. I genuinely thought that was a trade. The fact that Spartan gets that kill means around, what, 10, 15, even more seconds of ball time? A phenomenal piece of play there from Spartan and eUnited, and Pioneers find themselves on the back foot once more. We've already seen eUnited beat Pioneers on this game type in Anaheim, and history could repeat itself. It carries on in this direction.
I love watching Spartan's POV. You can see on the camera, he starts looking towards his teammates' screens, always downloading that information. As 3 go down for the Kansas City Pioneers, and Nick's in a bit of no man's land and in a world of hurt. Like a deer in the headlights, doesn't know where to go.
He does not know where to go, but the important thing is he's still alive. Grapple here, grapple there. What just happened? How does he get that frag? How has he got the camo? Nick's just done an insane amount of things there. But eventually gets put down. A double kill for Druk to try and calm things here in pipes. But eUnited still have a significant advantage.
Ball taken.
Calm things perhaps. Rayne and another engagement. It's gonna be a trade. 3 dead though. Druk. 3 nades. Over towards that commando. Nothing doing though. Spartan's behind him with a backstab. Give him the wiggles. Respect given between these two. The bait and switch. But now RyaNoob wants a bit. But he bit off more than he can chew. Druk pushes the pace. Clears out that riffraff and takes the ball, but if only for a moment.
eUnited have done so well to slow this game down in points. We know that Pioneers are a fast-paced team. We know they love to fly around corners. They've been like that since Halo 5. So what eUnited have done is they've said, hey, look, we'll just wait. We're expecting it. They ambush. They get that initial frag, and then eUnited inject that pace. And Pioneers have struggled a little bit because of it. But if Pioneers can take control, if that pace can start to work for them, eUnited could then be on the back foot.
Perhaps we need to be looking at a bit of a rebrand. The Kansas City Pioneers to the Flyoneers. The traps have been set, oftentimes to great success by eUnited. Just slowing down the game, frustrating the Pioneers, but Druk wins out in that one. Ultimately, it's a trade. 3 dead here for eUnited. This is the moment for the Pioneers to get some significant ball time, but just like that, Nick shuts down SoulSnipe.
You know, when Nick's hitting perfects like that, it's so difficult for you to do anything. That grenade does so much damage, and the teamwork that we're seeing from eUnited is incredible. Like, they are listening to everything. They are ensuring that every kill gets finished off as well. We're not seeing any one-shots escape, but Pioneers have secured the ball. Taulek is in a position where he can gain a little bit of time, and Spartan, if he goes down here, eUnited could struggle with this push.
And the home crowd trying to rally around their team. Will it be enough? Camouflage has just popped up, but it could be free for the eUnited if they like it. Spartan lands on a plasma grenade. RyaNoob also falls. Taulek keeping that ball nice and safe. And they've taken the lead.
Pioneers take the lead. eUnited are doing what they can to try and stop this ball time from being gathered. Eventually, the ball gets played out into the middle of the map, but all the meanwhile, Druk's found a camouflage. But again, eUnited hunt him out, they sniff him out. eUnited have never let Pioneers escape with a camo.
eUnited retake the lead. If only for a moment. As RyaNoob into an engagement here. Manny has to, but doesn't. RyaNoob shuts him down. He lets them know too. 2 dead for the Pioneers. It's a 9-second game with just over 2 minutes and change left in the clock. Spartan picks up a double.
Yeah, it's another very close round. It could all come down to one push, Jersey, and eUnited have the advantage in the moment, but Pioneers have just been looking for that perfect setup. They've not been able to find it. eUnited have been flying at them at times. This is what I was talking about, eUnited slowing things down and then speeding things up. They've really kept Pioneers on their toes.
eUnited dictating the pace, playing their own game. Oh! And Taulek comes in, slicing and dicing.
And important that the ball didn't get played out to bottom middle as well. Pioneers timed that perfectly because now they can get a considerable amount of time. eUnited on the spawn screen. They now have to push through pipes, and Pioneers could take the lead in this moment. Oh!
Only requiring 3. The shock rifle will take Taulek down to no shields. Lost one teammate, but they traded it out, and they've taken the lead once more. Taulek recognizing they're down in numbers, rotates towards the blue area so he can get a play into the drink, but has he managed it? Yes, he has.
Very important play, resets the ball. Is anyone from Pioneers into a position to actually watch it, though? It looks like no one at the moment, but eUnited, they're not going to get desperate for it. They do manage to secure it into pipes, but there is a player in there. Druk's got the ball, and Druk throws it straight back out.
5 seconds then. All that separates these two teams. Spartan has the shock rifle. Looking to push out and hold some extended sightlines for his team. They hold a 1 second advantage. Looking to build upon that now. Druk the first one to fall, and that's going to be painful for the Pioneers. As 10 seconds required for eUnited here. Pioneers have to go, or they will go down in the series. Killing spree for Spartan the dog. And eUnited take the lead in the series. 2-1.
They're looking to upset the crowd here, RyaNoob, and it's happened again. History has repeated itself. Recharge ball goes in favor of those boys on your screen. A very impressive performance. I love how they dictated the pace of play. They did not allow Pioneers to play the game they want to. This is one of my biggest fears for not just Pioneers, but Ascend as well. Two teams who play in a very similar, fast-paced style. What do you do when a team slows you down? When they literally throttle you into a corner and force you to play in a different way? KCP might have to go for plan B here, because at the moment, plan A has very much been found out here by eUnited.
Looking at the slays as well, it was 99 to 82. So these two teams separated by just over the 15 kills or so. I'm not going to do maths, I hate it. I won't do it, I refuse to make sure it's bang on. Just carry the one. They outslayed them by a significant margin. What do SoulSnipe and the boys on Kansas City Pioneers need to do to get themselves back into this series and take it to that Game 5 Slayer?
I think that they want a fast-paced game time to follow. That's what's important here. And I tell you what, Strongholds Streets, that's a pretty fast-paced game time. That is the perfect way for Pioneers now to get back into this series. But if eUnited could do exactly what they just did on Recharge Ball and slow them down, not allow Pioneers to be able to navigate the map in the way they want to, maybe we will be looking at an eUnited 3-1. As for Pioneers, they did get outslayed on Recharge, but that's just because they weren't able to fly like they usually do. They need to be the ones who are dictating the pace. They need to be the ones who are forcing eUnited onto that spawn and then consistently pushing them over and over again. Relentless pressure from the Pioneers is what they need to see.
Kansas City Pioneers then, staring at defeat. Can the crowd roar them back into this thing? We're about to find out. On board with Spartan.
eUnited with a chance to send the Kansas City Pioneers into the elimination bracket. And Spartan has been getting better and better with every single game. His gameplay is insane right now. Has a chance for a triple. Very important you shut him down before he gets firing.
Close that door. Do not open up again. Throw away the key if you can. Rayne with the rockets. Druk, Manny. Take care of a couple. B, after all this time, 30 seconds deep, only now starting to get transferred. It's gone the way of eUnited, but we may see an AC setup for the Pioneers.
Look how closely contested these two teams are. The first point's being scored now after 45 seconds. They really are not allowing either team to gain control of the map because they are just running at each other at the moment. eUnited trying to match the pace of play on the early stages here on Strongholds Streets.
The Pioneers, with the help of Taulek and that red gun, trying to make these streets covered in blood of eUnited. Make it run red. But RyaNoob here, what can he do? Two go down, Rayne and Spartan, and you can see he immediately puts us back to a wall.
Back to a wall, Bulldog in hand. I tell you what, Bulldog plus Stalker Rifle is a very dangerous combination. as RyaNoob continues to impress as this series goes on. eUnited now closing in on the scoreline 22-20. The Pioneers off the spawn. They're looking to try and rotate round so they can maybe pick up A here, but as soon as they set foot in it, they give away their position.
24-22 then. The Pioneers start scoring once more, but again, it's that AC setup.
It's a very difficult setup to try and get out of, because if you push to A, suddenly they flip C. If you push to C, they flip A. You really have to almost try and slay the team as you push them and go for a little bit of a risk at times. RyaNoob, though, will be able to escape with this Stalker rifle, so perhaps can do some damage if they choose to push towards C.
First pick has gone the way of eUnited. That will make this push a lot easier. Bulldog in the spine of Druk. Tries to soar, tries to four, unable to do so. Taulek, we just seen him getting shot in the back also by RyaNoob. And Nick with the rockets, their second set of rockets for eUnited. The Kansas City Pioneers have got a slender advantage.
I think that's concerning, though, for the Pioneers already, right? Two very comfortable situations for eUnited, picking up these rockets. They should guarantee themselves 4 kills because of that, although great grenades coming out from Pioneers, great prediction, but Nick will secure that first one.
The boombox, good for 1. 53 now, as eUnited just take the lead. Nick gets absolutely frying now on the Druk. That's going to mean the numbers advantage favors eUnited.
You feel the bass in the arena, by the way, when the Sentinel beam starts to fire. Make your feet wobble, let alone the players. It's a very close game at the moment. eUnited have a very slender lead indeed. And Spartan and Nick, all tournament long, they've been the ones who do initiate the fights in these Strongholds games. Keep looking out for them rotating, taking fights, trying to push those Strongholds. It's so tough when you've got 2 players working in tandem like that.
But the game's so close. The Pioneers can just get Druk firing here. 1 and 7. They've managed to keep themselves close enough to carry him this far. But if he can just light up now, they desperately need him. Or they will lose this series as Rayne picks up another one. But all of a sudden, Manny the last man standing. And Nick takes care of him.
All 4 dead for the Pioneers. It's very scrappy, but eUnited just about scrape through, and that's all they need to do in all of these team fights. Make sure they have the last remaining player. They will continue to score, and they will continue to pile the pressure onto the Pioneers, who are now starting to fall behind slightly as eUnited realizing they are so close to sending Pioneers down to the elimination bracket.
Starting to falter, starting to wilt just a little bit on the ropes. And eUnited preparing their killer blow. Another set of rockets for eUnited.
Pioneers aware they're on the map. At this point, it's concerning. It's another free kill. RyaNoob takes the first, and B&C still in the control. And notice how eUnited have not pushed over towards A. Because if they did, this would become a very rotational game, which becomes faster, which Pioneers love. Instead, eUnited is saying, look, let's make this a more structured game, a slower game. Pioneers, what have you got? And in the moment, they haven't had an answer.
For the longest time, RyaNoob, like a bouncer, clearing the arcade, ensuring anybody that stepped up, he said, not tonight. Not tonight. Finally shut down. SoulSnipe needs to drag his team forward here. It's going to be a triple cap momentarily as 2 go down. But can they maintain this pressure?
It's momentarily, but look how heavily they are scoring and how quickly they're catching up. eUnited need to stop this bleeding, otherwise Pioneers will very quickly be in their face when it comes to the scoreline. This is the difference, right? Pioneers, they play fast, they look for the trip cap, whereas eUnited were more than happy to hold 2.
RyaNoob desperately trying to turn tail. He has milked long enough for his team to just stabilize here. But not for long as Taulek comes diving in. Face first! And they continue to score here, A and B. But RyaNoob shuts them down. But they've eaten away at that deficit now.
And look how hard they are making eUnited work to try and keep hold of C. eUnited actually retreat and go and grab A because of it, which means they are still scoring. But it's a scrap in both Strongholds. And finally, some rockets going in the hands of the Pioneers. They've realized they're on the map. They've come to life, and they are starting to crawl back into this one.
B and C then for the Pioneers with attentions on A. A eUnited.
The Pioneers are starting to believe. The crowd is starting to believe. eUnited need to shut that down ASAP. Otherwise, Pioneers are going to have quite a phenomenal comeback at the moment. But there is still a lot of points to play here. eUnited quite far off that 250 mark, and so are the Pioneers. 6 minutes and 40 still on the clock. There is loads of time left in this one.
Numbers advantage in favor of eUnited for the moment. B starting to transfer, but all of a sudden, Manny steps into C. eUnited immediately recognize that. Look to go for A. Nick dives in. Doesn't get the reset. A and C belong to your Pioneers.
Pioneers are so quick to get in these strongholds right now, and they're taking B. Okay, Rayne's in A, but now he's given his position away. Are the Pioneers going to try and collapse? No, two have gone down. This is eUnited's chance to take control once more.
They shift over towards Arcade. Still not scoring. This gives Pioneers more time to come off the respawn and play a part. A and B now for eUnited. Taulek steps out, gets the information for his team. That nade hurts quite a bit. He's gonna have to put it into reverse. But down go two. Nick tries to stabilize for eUnited.
Rockets coming up in 10 seconds, and with Pioneers in the death screen, these are likely going to go to eUnited now. You'd imagine, as Rayne starts to get up close and personal, they have 199 to 167 lead. Yes, okay, someone's in B, but surely the Rockets go to eUnited here. Surely.
Rockets for free. For anybody brave enough to put their hands on them. And it's gonna be Rayne. No better man, no better name fitted for what he's about to do. Rayne down, death and destruction to the hopes and dreams of the Pioneers. 211 points to 67. A and C in control now, and B about to join him.
Trip cap would be so detrimental for Pioneers. This is a big fight. You have to win it if you're on the side of KCP.
Oh.
But Rayne denies it completely. Holds on to B, and the trip cap is here for eUnited as they look to try and close out this series.
When it rains, it pours. A and B though. Spartan gonna step back in. Ensure Arcade stays in their control. They only require 10. It's all down to this. Can the Pioneers step into B? They're in there now. Oh, but RyaNoob clearing it out. Eviction notice coming through. Manny goes down. It's only by the barest of margins. And Nick gets the reset. And eUnited win the series.
eUnited step up when they needed to. And some choice words sent over to the KC Pioneers. And Spartan is more than happy to play the villain. He will thrive under that kind of pressure. eUnited answer back.
That's elimination bracket now for the Pioneers. eUnited march on. They deal with the old foe.
Time and time again, these two seem to face up against each other in tournament play. And it seems like eUnited always get the last laugh.
Yeah.
They hush the crowd, they shush the crowd. eUnited are the real deal, and they want to prove that they are still a top team.
They've helped their cause no end. Looking at the dejected faces of the Pioneers, they gave as good as they got at times, but they have fallen just short again.
Well, the Pioneers, they felt confident about those game times. You know, it was looking good, some very fast-paced ones, but I think that eUnited really clicked in that series, and they worked out what they needed to do to defeat a team that just flies at you. They set those traps. They dictated the pace of play. They slowed things down when they needed to. And eUnited will be delighted with that. They move into Championship Sunday still in the winner's bracket. As for KCP, it's a very different story. That elimination bracket is going to be so tough.
It's a daunting task. Confirmation of how it shook out. Kansas City Pioneers took the series lead 4-1, Bazaar CTF. But ever since then, the scoreboard lights up red. 50-44 Slayer live fire, 2-1 Oddball Recharge. And in the end, too strong in the Strongholds on Streets.